All right, guys, welcome in, welcome in. I appreciate you tuning in. We are going to get right into this. Of course, Jasmine Crockett has officially announced her run to become a senator against John Cornyn in Texas. And Republicans, my message to you, please do not just sit on your butt and expect a Trump endorsement is going to take you to the win. It is not that easy anymore, okay? We have to have attack dogs. Republicans, you have to go out there and fight, talk to people, talk about how you're going to help the lower income people and middle class people and what you're going to do. What are you going to do for the people of Texas? John Cornyn, I love you, man. I think you're great. You've been doing it for a long time, but Jasmine Crockett is going to hit you hard. She's going to sit there and say, you're an old white man. You don't know what you're doing anymore. You've been doing it for so long. We need young, fresh faces. We need minorities in it. We need people that are going to speak for the people. John Cornyn is so outdated. We know that's what she's going to say, John. Please do not just sit on your butt. We saw what happened in Miami. I mean, the Democrats won that. We got our butts kicked in Miami. Now you have a Democratic mayor, and there hasn't been a Democratic mayor in Miami in, 28 years? And we're just sitting on our hands. Listen, we have to go out there and fight fire with fire. So if any Republican are just thinking that you're just going to cruise to the nomination in 2026 and just win so easily, it is not like that is anymore. So let's just talk about Jasmine Crockett and all the crazy things that Jasmine Crockett has said. I mean, she is just one of the most racist Democratic people we have out today in the Democratic Party. But why is nobody talking about that? You know, she has said some things that have just made me insane. She said that white people are now the greatest threat to America. Can you believe that? White people are now the greatest threat to America. Not talking about the Somali immigrants, people coming from Honduras, Venezuela, Mexico, Afghanistan, not those people. Nope, that's right, guys. It's white people, according to Jasmine Crockett. So what I want to do, I want to take a big, deep dive into Jasmine Crockett and see some of the crazy things that she has said. This is going to be a senator, by the way. She is running to be a U.S. senator. And let's just go back into some of the things that Jasmine Crockett has said.
What was kind of pushing them there. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons.
Can you imagine that? You are a murderer, but technically you're not a murderer. Even though you committed the crime of murder, you're not a murderer because it's not in your mindset. So if you don't have that mindset of being a murderer, you're not a murderer. What are you talking about? This is a U.S. congressman saying that just because you commit murder, just because you commit a crime doesn't make you a criminal. Okay. All right, let's take a look and see what Jasmine Crockett has to say now in this next video.
It's for the white boys. That's what's happening right now. I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel away and why you can't make me doubt who I am is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been.
Wow, the mediocre white boys. I'm going to play this clip again, but understand what she just said and how racist this clip is. Why is nobody talking about how racist these black Democrats are becoming? The mediocre white. Imagine if a conservative said mediocre black people. This is it. I'm going to play this clip again one more time.
It's for the white boys. That's what's happening right now. I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel away and why you can't make me doubt who I am is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder.
Is she talking about herself here? Has she had to work that much harder than any other person in the country? Mediocre white boys? Why are black Democrats allowed to be racist towards white people? How is that happening? Mediocre white boys. Okay, well let's see what else Jasmine has to say now.
Is in making sure that it does not fall by the wayside. They understand that we have a Timo Hitler in the White House right now that thinks that he is going to become the dictator of the United States.
So we now are talking about Donald Trump being Hitler. And people on the left, it's so crazy to me. People on the left are always saying that the violence, the rhetoric on the right's got to stop. The violence and the rhetoric has to stop. So much violent rhetoric. Yet you have a sitting congresswoman talking about the president of the United States is Hitler and a dictator in chief. So if you were a crazy lunatic person and your congresswoman is saying that the president of the United States is a Nazi, is a Hitler, a dictator in chief, wouldn't you want to be like, wow, I don't want a Nazi. I don't want a Hitler. I don't want a dictator in chief. Maybe I need to take up arms. Maybe I need to stop this person from becoming a dictator. And that is why the Democrats keep using this violent rhetoric. So now let's see what else she has to say.
He was talking about a resolution that came before the House this past week honoring Charlie Kirk. And there were 58 Democrats who voted against it. You were one.
Yeah.
Why?
Absolutely. You know what? One of the things I do want to point out that's not been laid out that honestly hurts my heart is when I saw the no votes, there were only 2 Caucasians. For the most part, the only people that voted no were people of color because the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk continuously put out there was rhetoric that specifically targeted people of color. And so it is unfortunate that even our colleagues could not see how harmful his rhetoric was specifically to us. And I can tell you that a month prior to him passing away, he had actually gotten out on his podcast. I wasn't aware of this at the time.
So I need to understand this real quick. When she's talking about the rhetoric from Charlie Kirk, what rhetoric was so harmful to you? When he said that we don't need DEI, when black people are just as capable as white people, that Democrats are racist by telling them that they need DEI and all these government programs because they're too stupid to make it on their own. They can't do anything without government assistance. So you need DEI. Charlie Kirk said you don't need DEI. Anybody in America can be whatever they want in America as long as you work hard. That is what his message was. But apparently that's racist.
But he got out there and he was talking negatively about me directly. So if there was any way that I was going to honor somebody who decided that they were just going to negatively talk about me and proclaim that I was somehow involved in the great white replacement, yeah, I'm not honoring that kind of stuff, especially as a civil rights attorney and understanding how I got to Congress, knowing that there were people that died, people that were willing to die, that worked to make sure that voices like mine could exist in this place. So to me, just like we wanted to make sure that those Confederate relics were taken down, the idea of a new age relic being propped up was something that I just could not subscribe to. And it is unfortunate that more of my colleagues, even on my side of the aisle, could not see the amount of harm that this man was attempting to inflict upon our communities.
So meanwhile, you obviously feel very strongly about the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk used that you find objectionable, and also from others in the MAGA movement. As the memorial service for him is going to happen later today, there is a debate over heated rhetoric on all sides. And
listen, whether it's heated or not, the fact is Charlie Kirk should still be here. It should not have been.
You're going to see right now how she tries to spin it, because this anchor is doing a great job. I believe her name is Dana Bash. She can do a great job and spin it and actually use her violent rhetoric that Jasmine Crockett has said to defeat her argument right here.
That there was political violence that resulted because of the words that were coming out of his mouth, just like plenty of MAGA hates when I mention white supremacy, which kind of tells you where MAGA stands. But nevertheless, they get very upset when I talk about white supremacy. But that doesn't mean that somebody.
Why are you even talking about white supremacy? White supremacy is not a thing anymore. Who cares about skin color? There are so many big things right now that are happening in this country as illegal immigration, the economy, you can say tariffs, trade, whatever, health insurance. You can say so many things like that. But for Jasmine to keep saying white supremacy, that is such a Democratic lie. We do know right now that 13% of the population, which the black community makes, they're committing a ton of crime, and it's much more of a greater threat than white supremacy. But she can't say that because you know why? The black people that are voting for her don't want to hear that. They want to hear that white people are racist and white people are, you can't make it in America. You can't make it in corporate America to become a dentist or a doctor or whatever you want to be because white people are racist. That's what her voters want to hear. So that's what she's doing. She's on CNN talking about white supremacy. Who the hell cares about white supremacy? That's not even a thing anymore.
You should then try to find a bullet or try to find a knife and harm me. Not in America. That's not who we are supposed to be.
Well, let me ask you, because I do want to play a couple of statements that you made earlier this year.
Okay. Unfortunately, we have someone that is occupying the White House, and as far as I'm concerned, he is an enemy to the United States. They want to show that they are loyal to this, I don't even know what to call him. I've called him so many things, but this wannabe Hitler for sure.
And to be clear, the president has attacked, other people have attacked you in his orbit, maybe not him personally. But do you have a responsibility as an elected official not to raise the temperature, but rather lower the temperature, particularly when there are people out there who listen to elected officials all over the place who are not well, who use that as a way to instigate the political violence that you are calling out?
I think that my responsibility is to be transparent and to be honest. And the reality is that we are living in a time in which this administration and this regime is not interested in making sure that people.
A normal person would have said, you know what, I did say some things that maybe I shouldn't have said, maybe some things that were maybe violent, too aggressive, that people might have taken the wrong way and it might have used my words to enact some type of violent stuff. That's not my intent. My intent, that's what a normal person would have done. You see how she's not backing down. You see how she's not apologizing whatsoever. And she's standing on her business and saying that, I'm just being transparent and I'm telling people how they feel, which is bullcrap. It's 100% bullcrap.
Understand history. We need to understand why they are so problematic. And so I am using that language because it is accurate language. When we see the consolidation of power, when we see them trying to chill speech of jokesters, when we're seeing all of this, that is a playbook out of Hitler, and I won't deny it. Like, these are the facts. But one of the things that I've never done that the president has done consistently is called specifically for violence. He has said, oh, beat that one up. He has said those types of things.
And this is why I just can't respect some of the Democrats, because even when they're playing their own words in front of them, they will just say, yeah, sure, I said it. Do you think your words are wrong? He's a Hitler. He's a Nazi. Clearly, he's not even close to that. He hasn't consolidated any type of power. Every type of decision that he makes gets challenged in court. You think a dictator is getting challenged in court? Absolutely not. But this is the problem that I have. Democrats have all this violent rhetoric, and when they play their words, their violent words back to them, they're like, well, yeah, it wasn't just as bad. It's nonsense what's going on. So let's see again. Again, Jasmine Crockett to me is a ghetto-ass congresswoman. Like, she should not be anywhere close to touching a Senate seat. But I'm going to play another clip of what she has to say.
Junior, and she's in Dallas. I got an office in her district. Oh, I don't hate her though, and it's weird. Way I kind of like that she's a gangster, kind of like that.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now.
Ain't none of y'all trying to go out and farm right now. Ain't none of you. Wouldn't you think, if you're a congresswoman, that ghetto background that you have would be out the window and you be talking with professionalism? Ain't none of y'all trying to, this is a sitting congresswoman running to be a senator next year. This is who Texas has to elect. Ain't none of y'all talking, what?
Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not.
So that's just her being, more ghetto. I can't really take a lot of it. But here's her announcing her Senate seat yesterday.
And so I just want to be clear for all the haters in the back. Listen up real loud. We gonna get this thing done. So they tell us that Texas is red. They are lying. We're not. The reality is that most Texans don't get out to vote. The reality is that the people that I used to work with in the Texas House did everything that they could to make sure that they could suppress voices. If we were so red, they wouldn't be so pressed. Let me be clear. The reason that the governor always got time to call out my name is because he understands that I know how to speak to everybody, not just some folk. There are folks who feel like their vote doesn't matter and that nothing will change or that candidates don't speak to them. And honestly, I can't blame them. But I'm here to address those Texans specifically who feel as their vote doesn't matter.
Now, we have to understand, Jasmine Crockett is literally doing the typical Democratic playbook of not giving any policy, not giving any plan to make lower income, middle income families' lives better. All she's running on is Trump bad, ICE bad, white man racist, keeping us down, keeping our voice suppressed, blah, blah, blah. That's all she's saying. She has no message whatsoever. Okay, that is what the Democrats do. And I will tell you right now, the Democrats are very, very, very good at that. Okay, they will attack, they will attack, they will attack. Don't present any plan or policy. Just get all these people riled up, emotional, voting for them. And then when they get elected in the office, they're like, well, I was going to do a plan and try to do some type of, policy change, but I'm already in office anymore. So I guess I don't have to do anything. This is what she does. She's going to get Texans riled up. She's going to sit there and say, you don't have a voice and they're racist over here and that you can't do that. And you can't become a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer or a scientist because the white man has his boot on your neck and you can't make it. But if you elect me, you'll have all these opportunities. You'll have a voice in the Senate. I will represent the people. I will make sure that Black Americans can do the jobs that white man can do, and I'll give opportunity. That's what she's going to say. That's what she's going to say, and it's nonsense. So, John, I'm telling you right now, I love you, man, but you got to get the word out. You can't just be sitting back and thinking that, she's not gonna, come for you, man. She is, and you have to be out there talking to people, grassroots, doing meetings, getting on social media, getting the word out there, because we know your young people are ones that are now influencing elections. Young people are always on social media. So, I mean, you go on CNN or ABC and MSNBC or ABC and Fox News, these young people might not be watching you, man. So you gotta get the word out, John. So let's just see what John has to say about Jasmine Crockett running it to contend for his Senate seat.
Jasmine Crockett entering the fray yesterday.
Well, Kamala Harris got about 42% of the vote in 2024, and I bet Jasmine Crockett will not exceed that. She'll be lucky if she does. She's simply the AOC of Texas, and that may work in New York, but it won't work in Texas.
Now, this is the problem that I have, okay? This is the problem that I have. You have so many people who think like that. Republicans just got our butts kicked in Miami, okay? Never have they had a Democratic mayor in the last 25, 28 years, okay? Now we just got our butt kicked. For us to be going into a mindset, well, Kamala got 42%, so I really can't see her getting. You cannot take your challengers lightly, okay? We do know that Jasmine is very popular in Texas. You already know she's going to get the black vote, 100%. She's going to call you old, John. She's going to call you you've been doing it for too long. You don't speak for the people. You're keeping people oppressed. The black votes, when you're a senator, they don't have their voice. I need to become a senator so I can speak for all the people. I can speak for the Latinos and the Asians and the blacks. I want to get the word out. You're not doing your job, John. That's what she's going to say. You need to hit fire with fire, bro. You know what I mean? The old school, typical ways of politicking is not working anymore. Just being a guest on CNN or being a guest on Fox News or being a guest on ABC is not going to cut it. You have to go get your word out there. Jasmine Crockett is always doing interviews, okay? She's nonsensical idiot, but she's always doing social media stuff. Young people are now influencing elections, okay? So much so that we see this Afton Bain lunatic in Nashville who literally has said she hates Nashville, she hates the Bachelorette, she hates country music, she hates all these things, and yet she almost beats her Republican challenger. So, John, we have to go out there. We need attack dogs. We need to get our message out and show the world why you're better than Jasmine Crockett. Because if we don't, and you just sit down, just wait for a Trump endorsement and don't get out the vote and don't, start speaking to people and start influencing young people, she might be very close. I'm not saying she's going to win, But, I'm saying that it's going to be closer than you think. So we got to get the word out there. Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockett is not the right person, obviously, to lead Texas, to become a senator. And I'll tell you, man, if she wins this, it's just going to be mind-blowing for the United States, because clearly you see Zohran Mamdani, a Democratic socialist, won in New York. Now you have a Democratic mayor in Miami. Jasmine Crockett is becoming more popular. Again, not saying anything that's smart, not presenting any policy or plan change or anything like that. Just because she's on the news 24/7 talking about white people are bad and this and that, all this crap. So who are our attack dogs? Who on the Republican side are going to be saying, no, that's not true. We need our attack dogs. The Democrats already have AOC and Ilhan Omar and Jasmine Crockett and Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, all these people. We need somebody on the Republican side that can fight for all of the candidates that are, racing out there. And the candidates that are in these tight, close races, man, look, you guys have to be going out there on social media and making yourselves uncomfortable. You guys are old. You guys might not be liking social media. I totally understand it. But listen, young people are influencing elections right now. And if you want to get young people to vote for you, you got to do something that's, young people got to see you out there. They got to see you on college campuses. They got to see you talking to people, man. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Jasmine Crockett, next year, 2026 is going to be a tight one for sure. John Cornyn, obviously we're going for him, but Jasmine, she's got a big voice right now. And even though she doesn't make any sense what she talks about, she's racist. She hates white people. She is clearly saying there's a big white supremacy problem, which is clearly not. Nobody in America is afraid of white supremacy. I mean, the thing is pretty much extinct right now. But yet she won't call up the crime in the black community whatsoever. So it's just another typical spin from the Democrats of, hey, this is what's going on, but we're going to talk about something else to distract you. So we need to make sure that we fight fire with fire, and we have all these people attacking Jasmine to make sure that she doesn't even come close to winning this election. So we will see what happens in the near future, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out of here.